Alrighty then, so let's learn about the family structure in Afrikaans. This vocabulary is super simple. If you just concentrate a bit, I'm pretty sure you're going to get it. So let's go for it. It might be helpful to you if you watch my video on Afrikaans pronunciation. It's one of my animated videos. See if you can check that out. It might make this even easier than it already is. Alright, so let's see. So we've got familie. Simply means family. All of your family, whether immediate or your relatives, are known as familie. Then, the informal word for mom is ma. Very easy, isn't it? The informal word for dad is pa. Ma and pa. Nothing different from most other languages. Perhaps my pronunciation is different. Now remember, as usual, I am in a school. There will be noises all around as we go through this. Okay, I do apologize for that. Let's look for the formal word for ma and pa. We've got moeder, which is mother. Instead of mom or ma, it's mother. We've got vader, which I'm sure you can guess is father. Right? Moeder en vader. And simply put, these people are called ouers. Ouers. Your parents. Ouers. Be aware of that word O over there. That implies that they are older than you. Got it? And you'll see it come up again. So now, all ouers, all parents have a child. And the word for child is kind. Kind is child. The plural for kind is kinders. Kinders. And we normally don't even pronounce the D. We often just say kinders. And we know what we're talking about, right? But it's kinders. There we go. Two kinds of kinders. The first kind is dochter, daughter. Notice how we do pronounce the G there, the Germanic G. Dochter. And now we no longer pronounce that in English. And we've got seun. Seun. Son. I'll pronounce that again. Seun. So when you get to that, you purse your lips like you're blowing a kiss, right? Seun. Not very different from English. We've got sister. Sister. So you say it the same way you say it in English, just purse your lips a little bit more for the sister. Okay? Although mostly we just anglicize it and say sister. That's really fine. You've got broer, broer, brother. Let's look at some of the informal words that are used in everyday Afrikaans. You might hear someone say sussie for my sister, much like sissy in English. You might hear someone say grootsis, which is my big sister, klein sis, my little sister, or ousis, which is also my big sister, my older sister, right? You may even, if you come to South Africa, find the word ousie floating around. It doesn't really mean your older sister anymore. It's just for older ladies now that we know, right? But it actually has its roots in ousis, my big sister, right? Similar, the word broer changes slightly in informal Afrikaans, where we might say boetie, boetie, my little brother, klein boet as well, my little brother, ouboet, my older brother. You can even say grootboet, I suppose, if you wanted to. All right, and that root word over there, boet, is actually one of the others that we use in slang in all languages in South Africa. We might just call someone, hey boet, what's up boet? Might even say broer. All right, so all of these people, your immediate family, your ma, your pa, your sister and your broer, make up your gesin. Gesin, which is the Afrikaans word for immediate family. It's a very formal word, great to know. You probably will see it in writing, but not really hear it that much in conversational Afrikaans. Okay, but gesin. Let's look at the rest of your family. You've got your oupa. Remember how I told you O means old? Try and pronounce it like me. Oupa. Furthermore, you've got your oma. Oma. So oupa and oma are used in both formal and informal Afrikaans. There is no o moeder of o vader. There's just oupa and oma. Grandma and grandpa. Got it? Moving forward. We call these guys your grootouers, my grandparents, right? Just like in English, the word grand means great, groot also means great. So you've got your great parents, right? Your great grandparents. Oh no, sorry, great grandparents means something totally different in English, but your grootouers are your grandparents. Your great parents, your wonderful parents. They're awesome. Grootouers, right? Now let's be aware of this word klein, which will be used as a prefix, although it's a word on its own. You hear in Afrikaans, klein means little. You've seen it before. Let's have a look. Klein kinders, your grandchildren. Klein kinders. If you were to separate those words, it just means little kids. But klein kinders, of my kleinkind, is my grandchildren. Cool. Klein dochter, my granddaughter. And klein seun is my grandson. Great. Let's say you got married. You would start with the word skoon. Skoon usually means clean in Afrikaans, but it can also be a reference to beauty. It isn't typically used that way anymore, but for example, a beauty product is known as a skoonheidsmiddel, right? So that's skoon. Your skoonheid is your beauty. And so normally when it comes to your in-laws, you refer to them as beautiful. Isn't that lovely? So you see the two wedding rings here in skoon? That's how you remember that word as a prefix, okay? Skoon. Follows the same family structure as the gesin, even though they're not your gesin, they're just your familie. Your skoon family. You've got a skoonma and a skoonpa, or you could have the formal version, skoonmoeder and skoonvader, as we've seen before, right? Okay, you've got a skoonsister, which is the same. You know, it makes a lot of sense to you. But over here, you've got the swaar. A swaar is your brother-in-law. We don't say skoonbroer, we typically say swaar. All right, swaar. So that's the only one that's different. Shall we put it aside to remember it? Okay, skoonkind is a child-in-law. My skoonkinders, my children-in-law. Skoondochter, as you know, is a daughter-in-law. Skoonseun, son-in-law. Okay, another way that a family could join, it could be a blended family, right? If you have step parents or step family, we call it stief. Now, unlike the two matching O's over there, you've got two different ones. How about we help that make you think about two families joining together, right? Stief for a step parent. We then have stiefma or stiefpa if you want to be informal, or stiefmoeder and stiefvader if you want to refer to them in formal ways. Although I've only really seen stiefma and stiefpa used, but yeah, good to know the words, right? It's very simple with the step people. You've got a stiefsister and a stiefbroer, stepsister and stepbrother. You might have a stepchild, stiefkind, and like the others, following the exact same logic, stiefdochter and stiefseun. Can you see how easy this is? Perfect. Now let's move away from immediate family or family structures like that. Let's see what we say about uncles and aunties. So we've got the formal word for auntie over here, which is tante. You might see this in written Afrikaans, but in everyday spoken Afrikaans these days we tend to say tannie. Important to remember the word tannie because it also just refers to any middle-aged lady. You might go with tannies. In Afrikaans, it's probably more polite for you to refer to anybody that's about 10, 12 years older than you as tannie, okay? And say her name. Okay, whether or not she's your blood auntie, you just refer to her as though she is, right? You've also got oom. Oom is both formal and informal. You would refer to any man that you know that's older than you as oom. Any man who's not in your generation, oom. Okay? Oompie is just a word that comes from oom. It means, you know, that uncle over there, because we kind of refer to everybody as an uncle. Any grown man we know as an oompie, you know? Niggie. Niggie is your female cousin. Niggie. Niggie. So let's keep that one aside too. And neef is your male cousin. Neef. Okay? They can be used interchangeably with niece and nephew if you want. But what we do normally to clarify is we say, klein niggie is my niece, sorry, and klein neef is my nephew, right? It's kind of like my little male cousin, my little female cousin. Or if you want to classify who your klein niggie and neef, your klein neef and niggie are, you can say it's my broerskind, my brother's kid, or my sister's kind, my sister's child. I haven't really seen these used as one word in written Afrikaans, but I did see them in the textbook, okay? So let's look at some of those again, because those can be a bit complicated, right? Klein neef and klein niggie are niece and nephew typically. Neef and niggie are typically your cousins, okay? Male cousin is neef, female cousin niggie, right? Most people that you see, you might want to call oom for men, which means uncle, or tannie for ladies, which means auntie, right? Another thing to revise is that if you have in-laws, you simply refer to them as skoon, follows the same rules as most other words, except for swaar, which is brother-in-law, right? That's a special one, it's an exception to the rule. Similarly, for step family, you'd use the prefix stief, and it follows the same rules as the immediate family. Generally, if you want to refer to somebody one generation removed that is younger, you tend to start it with klein. Okay, you've got klein kinders, klein dochter, klein seun, all of those are grandchildren, and your little female cousin or your little male cousin tends to be your niece and nephew. So, same as the other family, but one generation removed, younger than you, is klein. Generally, if you want to indicate that someone is older, you use the prefix o. If you want to insinuate that they're bigger, you use groot, right? Which is why parents